Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. So, in one comment, I won the debate, the discussion, the disagreement. The person in the video made all kinds of interesting claims, but they were false claims. They said that they could magically prove definitively what they can't, which is that the concept of God came from people. You cannot prove that. That's worse than saying that the first people came, from people. They came from somewhere else, right? The first Homo sapien came from another species, right? It was a mutation, right? It started to evolve and to change. So we see that change in nature. So no matter how you slice it, the idea of God came from something other than Homo sapiens. It came from God, but at least it came from cells from animals that were evolving, right? From life forms that were evolving into people as far as anyone knows. Another problem you face is that nobody can prove anything scientifically, no matter what. It's logical assumptions. Can you prove that gravity exists? A lot of scientists proceed through life for sure, as if they know for sure, rather, that gravity exists. They assume that. So with the evidence that we have, there's some kind of force pulling us down, and we believe it has to do with this planet, it has to do with these principles of physics, what have you. And they proceed. And so it is with God. Okay, when you look at it in terms of logic, which is what someone who has faith is going to do unless they're an idiot. They're going to say, I believe there's a God because of X, Y, and Z. Because I sense God, for example. Now what else? How do you know that what you're sensing isn't something else? Okay? And to some degree, what everyone but me is sensing, to some degree, is something else. It's the limitations of their brain. Right? They haven't refined themselves to come into moral precision. Now, when I say, that I'm living the essence of righteousness, right? I'm going toward the essence. I'm in the essence. I'm living the essence. My soul is at God's right hand, okay, in righteousness. Then I can say, hey, there's something known as righteousness. It is a flow. It is a state of being that I've come into, and it has a source. And the source of righteousness, the source of morality, the source of true universal justice is God. And it's proven that it's more powerful than other things because of martial arts. So I can say with certainty that there is a God, with a certainty that transcends mere human logic and science because of the nature of the discussion. But he can't say with certainty, he can't say the opposite with certainty. What's he basing it on? He has no argument for what came first. Doesn't even make an argument about it. What came first if not something that's all known, all good, and all powerful? Now you might say, well, time is a human concept. Well, how do you know that? So you don't know with certainty. And so many people are quick to co-sign with you as if you're right. But there's a certain level of knowledge that transcends mere human logic. For example, falling in love. Love seems to defy logic. But is it just in your head? It doesn't exist in any way, shape, or form? No. It exists. Something is there. Nobody understands the exact nature of God. But they can say with certainty as much as someone can be certain that there is a God. And it's a more logical argument scientifically and logically speaking than that there isn't, or that you don't know and you're going to live as if you don't know. Because when you say you don't know and you commit to not knowing, that's a path. That's a way and a path. That's a way to think. That's a way to be. That's a path to travel. And we've seen definitive proof that it is inferior. What became the dominant thing in a way that's virtuous of all of humanity was monotheism. Right? More people are monotheistic than anything else on this planet. And of the people on the planet, the monotheistic person goes beyond other people. Martin Luther King, me. He goes beyond other people. Other people are too shallow. They're not passionate enough. It gives you a certain divine monotheistic passion that goes beyond other people. Compare a gay parade and gay dating to the essence of heterosexual monotheistic dating. There's no comparison. I've had gays themselves tell me that I'm right about that. It's open and shut. Being serious and moral and reproducing a family with moral precision, or deciding to not reproduce a family because it's immoral to reproduce at this time, and so on, and in the future, in the flesh. That goes beyond just shallow, artificial, warm, fuzzy that, say, a porn star feels, or someone at a gay parade, or what have you. It goes beyond it. We see tons of evidence. There are millions of LGBT people on the planet right now. In Egypt, if you just took a fraction of them who followed Horus, they go beyond all of them. Why is that? And if you're to argue, well, when it comes to monotheism, most people are monotheistic. Well, why? Now, if you had 1 million people who were way overweight, and you had one person who was in very good shape, who would you expect to be the fastest? That one person. If you're so right, then you would have a higher understanding of things, right? You would have a better understanding. And therefore, it wouldn't take very many of you to prove that your state of being is better than the masses of people who you claim are delusional. But you couldn't do it. The communists couldn't do it. The atheist movement in America couldn't do it. The atheistic Satanists couldn't do it. Anton LaVey couldn't do it. In life, what we have, scientifically speaking, is the logical assumption when it comes to whether or not there's a God and how to respond to that question. And you're moving in a way that's illogical. And just that quickly, anyone with any sense whatsoever can see that I won that debate. And how did they respond? By throwing a fit. They threw a fit in the comments, and they threw a fit by coming after my channel. That's not honorable. That's not ideal. And that is all too common. When other views, gay or straight, come across my view, they start acting like punks. Instead of conceding my point. That's all too common.